Well, here in Fargo, a rally was held this evening for people who wanted to voice their support for Ukraine, hoping an end to the war is in sight. Valley News Team's Ethan Kramer was there and brings us this story.
On the third anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, a rally was held at the Veterans Memorial Bridge where people could come and voice their support for the Ukrainian cause.
It's essential that we support Ukraine in their fight against the absolute tyranny that Russia invaded them.
The fight for Ukraine and standing up for Ukraine symbolizes just standing against authoritarian governments.
A war that has left thousands dead and cost billions of dollars.
The suffering is immense. There are people here on the sidewalk from Mariupol, a city that's been hit so hard.
Somebody to stand up to Putin and say, stop invading. Stop. You're wrong.
Many people wearing blue and gold and holding Ukrainian flags are hoping for a quick end to the war.
Every day that it continues is horror, loss, damage.
The war needs to come to an end immediately. Less lost life, the better. Right, but it is a fight for democracy, for true democracy.
In Fargo, Ethan Kramer, Valley News Live.